Hey people, how are we doing? How's everyone? Top of the league. Oh, that sounds good. Leeds United are top of the league. Enjoy it, people. Enjoy the season. Enjoy it. We're winning every game we play at the moment. Enjoy it. Good. It's not going to be like this. Everyone wants to go to the Prem. How often are you going to win in the Prem? Realistically, for the first 3 or 4 years. See if you stay in. Come on, enjoy it. This is good. I'm enjoying it. I love it. I was there yesterday at the ground, right at the top. Lovely stuff. Lovely atmosphere. Yeah. Good times. Good times to hear the songs of Leeds United top of the league. Oh, it's good. It's good. But anyway, let's get straight into player ratings. Hope everyone else is good. I'm going to focus on certain players because some caught my eye and have caught my eye and I want to chat about them. How about the goalkeeper real quick? He had one save to do and it was offside. That kind of sums up how good we are. We don't concede goals. It's ridiculous. The amount of goals we don't concede. It's a joke. Unbelievable. That's an unbelievable defensive unit as a 5. It is. I guess as a team, the structure, the way you play as a team. Yeah. Ilham Meslier. Nice. Next. Nothing to really say, to be honest with you. Fullbacks. You know what it is, right? And there's such a standard set in this side that it's hard to give players over a 6.5 into that 7. Once you get into 7, you're really in the upper echelon saying that's their best performance. And these guys, again, I think Archie had some really nice interplay on that right, and as did Firpo. I think defensively, they were both fairly solid. The solid performance without getting the plaudits, without really advancing what they usually do. For that, I can't really give higher than a 6.5, but 6.5 is a solid score. A 6.5 is a player that plays every week. You know what I mean? It's really solid and consistent. And in this league, being consistent is tough, especially for the young players or inexperienced. Purple's never played in the league. Archie's 18. It's his first full season as a pro. So it's hard to criticise these two guys right now. It's hard to criticise many players. They're playing part of the side and they're playing really well as a team. And the fullbacks are pivotal to that. Of course they are. Yeah, again, we're going to move on quickly because I want to talk about certain players and the next guys who I want to talk about. These two, I've just realised I've not changed their rating. Give me a second. There we go. That's better. I know people saw that straight away. What? Yeah. I forgot. I just saw that. Anyway. This partnership is unbelievable. And do you know what, right? As a partnership, they kind of did have a lot to do yesterday, unlike the fullbacks. Because a lot of, and most of, Millwall's play came centrally, usually high in the air, or usually in kind of recovery situations or 50-50, I guess, defending situations in between the lines. And these two dealt with most of it. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of physical attributes up there. It's some really good off Femi, Fleming, them two guys, decent players at this level, very good players at this level. And it's a lot to deal with. And the blocks, the tackles, the interceptions, the recoveries, yeah, it was a joke. These two were a joke again. And the amount of goals we've conceded, just look for yourselves, people. It's a joke. And these two are a huge part of it. And I want to talk about Ethan Ampadu. I want to zone in on Ethan Ampadu real quick. Because at the game, watching it, genuinely, people, this level is too easy for him. It's too easy. He was easing through that game. And in difficult moments, he dealt with them like that. They didn't build and build. He just dealt with everything. Tough as well. Everything was high. Everything was behind him. That's tough for a defender. Because you're never facing. You're never in a comfortable position. Everything's above you or around you. You're never in a comfortable position. So to deal with that is just exceptional from these two. And let's talk about the stats that Ethan's pointing at here. I want to talk about total successful actions. 85% of his actions in the game were successful. 85%. And that's ridiculous. 88 actions were successful out of 103. And then when you look at his total for the season, so his average successful actions percentage, 79. He's outperforming. Passes accurate, 91% of his passes are accurate. And for the most part, you can see forward passes there, that's the key. Building up from the back, you have to build up sideways, you have to go backwards, you have to go long, which takes that percentage down a little bit. But forward passes accurate, 88%. 42 forward passes out of 48 were successful. That's not lateral, that's forward, that's through, that's into midfield, that's out wide. That's to the advancing defender or the advancing fullback. Unbelievable on the ball. Duels won, 69%. Again, I believe his average this season is 61, so that's above average. Aerial duels, 67%. Again, above average is 61%. He's stepping up massively, and he always has been, but there's a level to it now, where the game and this league is looking simple for him. He plays so simple, it's so easy. Look, you have difficult moments in games. Doesn't mean the people around you, it's an easy game, but he makes it look that. He gives you that assurance when he's playing. And that one he's pointing at right there. Recoveries. So recovery is when Millwall have possession. Who wins that initial? So when he wins his possession back, basically, when either the ball's gone to a through ball or it's in the air, who wins as the ball? 24 times he recovered the ball. 24. And this is key because when you think about the game state and how much of it from Millwall was in the air or in 50-50 areas, I believe he had the most in the entire game. And by far the most of any centre-back. And this is key. He understands and anticipates where the ball's going to be. He knows any through ball that tries to come through them two doesn't. It's either Rodon or him will snuff it out. And yesterday, he was a key part of that. 24 ball recoveries. Let me just check what his average is for the season. So yeah, average recoveries of 10. 24 yesterday. He's really stepping up in every way. Tactically, he's a beast. He's now the captain. The team's winning. Not lost under his captainship. Is that a word? Made it. Don't care. He's really impressing me as Ethan Ampadu. Really is. Future of this club. Huge part of this club going forward for the next 10 years. Massive. Talk about the midfield real quick. Again, it's a tough game. Look, these games are always... The emphasis isn't on necessarily, the emphasis is on being patient and picking your moments, because when you look at Millwall, and they did kind of play a high press at times, and we dealt with it sometimes we didn't. Sometimes you've got to notice where the gaps are, and sometimes those gaps are beyond midfield, especially in a high press situation. Sometimes it is wide, sometimes it's the advancing fullback, sometimes it's the wingers, sometimes it's straight into the striker or over the top of him. But I think they were fairly solid in terms of a consistency, and there's one little thing I want to spot, and I'll do a tactics video about this, is that Gruev switch. So many times he's about to do it, and then he pulls back. And it's there. It is there. There's some slight adjustments I think we need to make that even clearer for him. But it's there. And he did it in the first 2 or 3 games. He was doing it for fun. Whether that's instruction, I don't know. Because the way in which he's about to do it, but then stops, makes me think it is instruction. It's not confidence, because he's got that. We know that. I don't know. Interesting one on that. We'll get into that, because so many times where I'm looking at 2v1 on the opposite wing, he looks and he sees it, and he plays down the left still, and it's too compact at times. Maybe that's something we need to discuss, and I will in another video. I thought he was really good. Apart from that, solid on the ball. Yeah, just that progression when it's there at times, that bravery a little bit. But similar for Kamara. Watching Kamara, you have like a understanding of the amount of work he puts in. Works hard, people. And look, again, there's always that aggressive, that final third impact. But in the defensive in the mid-third, he's key for our build-up. Whether that's slowing down the tempo or speeding it up. And again, the tempo for me is dictated a lot by the manager and what he wants in the game state and the situation, understanding that even if you do slow down the tempo, you will still create chances. Because we're that good. So you don't have to go gung-ho, you don't have to go forward all the time, because you know you can create chances out of nothing, which we did. Yeah, interesting one on these two, but we'll move on to the front four, because that's what we're all here for always, let's be honest. Cree, I give a 6. Right. This is harsh, because that shot goes in, Good strike, by the way. And you're looking at 7.5. That's the differences. In terms of impact, I just think the others are impacting the game in terms of output more at the moment. Not necessarily in terms of how key he is positionally to our build-up and in possession. Because look, everything else is fine. He's dribbling, he wins fouls all the time. He gets forward. But when teams are doubling up on him, which they are in each game, this is what it's not a criticism of him. It's reliance then on other players to step up, and they have. And this is a guy here that's done that. That James was always stepped up anyway. After Bamford's coming to the side and has helped with the goals. Jorginho Rutter getting all the assists. You need this. This is what a team is. This is not a criticism of Cree. He's a young, experienced player. All the other young, experienced players in this league will have periods where they're not hitting them numbers that they once were. It happens. Still our best player. And there will be a game where one team decides not to double up on him because there's other threats now. And that will be the game where we'll see him absolutely fly. When he is 1v1, by the way, especially against the fullback he destroyed 1v1. I think he won 3 or 4 fouls from him specifically. That's not an issue. But it's tough when he's deeper and they're doubling up on him. There's no space behind for him to run, really, because then the centre-back covers. But that's where it leaves gaps for Jorginho, which we did find in the second half, and then gaps for Bamford to stretch the play, and then Willian Onto comes inside. There is gaps being created because of his doubling up, and it is working. So, we're a team. That's what it is. We're all part of it. Willian Onto, what a finish, by the way. That finish was unreal, wasn't it? That finish was an absolute joke. Yeah, what's that now? 7-8 goals? But it started. Start the season and there weren't those issues pre-season. Could be double that. Now getting in his stride. He's performing at a level. And that level is what we need him to do when teams are doubling up on Cree and making it difficult for him. And shout out to Will because he's doing that. And to cut inside and the balance he has in that position on his weak foot, by the way. To pick out that near post as he's cutting across the box with his weak foot is an unbelievable finish. And this is what we signed him for. This is what we expected for him all season. And we have got that the last 5, 6, 7 games. Really good to see because he's an obviously really talented player. No one ever denied that. It was just annoying the fact that he wasn't available to us at the start and then, yeah, he couldn't get in the team because of the form of the other players. But now he's here, he's playing, and this is what he should have done, and this is all I was crying out for at the start. Don't rush to make that big move. If you're good enough, it will come. You might have to wait a year. It's fine. But Cree's stock through the roof. Rutter's stock now through the roof. Archie Gray's stock through the roof. Players that chose to stay and are now developing as players under a manager who's good at developing players, scoring goals, getting assists, finding ways to beat teams, different ways, adapting their play. Nonto's finally catching up to the others now, and it's good to see because he's a really talented player. He just wants to play his football. That's all we need from him. And look, that big move, if we don't go up, that big move will come, and fair enough if he continues this form, right? Just earn it, you know? Stay, play for the team. Every one of them. Part of something good here. And he is, and I love that, and they all are. And everyone's mentality is right at the moment, and I love it. These two, quick on Patrick, very quiet game for him. I think that's kind of testament to the way in which Millwall set up. It wasn't bad. I don't think he had a lot of the ball. I don't think it was available. I think they snuffed out that long ball that we did previously quite well. They understood that was going to happen. They did play a bit deeper, which in turn led spaces for Jorginho Rutter. And I am going to talk about Jorginho, who, by the way, is my favourite player. Everyone knows this. That doesn't mean I don't criticise. In fact, I probably criticise more because I believe in the true potential this guy has. I think his ceiling is a joke. But yeah, let's get into it. So here are his numbers from the game. The numbers I picked out, by the way. The 2 assists, which we'll get into, don't you worry. Successful actions, 43%. That's wasteful. That's the lowest of any Leeds player, by the way. Quite significantly as well. That's wasteful. Hear me out. Dribbles. 4 of 14 was successful. That's 29% dribble success rate. Passes, 67. Is slightly below his average of, I believe, 69 this season. But what that screams to me is efficiency. Now, there is a lot of context to this. A lot of context. One, he's 21 years old. That's the huge one. Two, if he had this in the first place, because he never really had it, you look at his numbers throughout the years, very similar to this, when he was 18, 19. He had it, he would not be at this club. I find it kind of false to criticise his finishing just based on the fact that, yeah, he's not got everything. And that finishing is frustrating at times, and he should score more goals. He's 21. And if he cuts, and look, he's with us now, if we get promoted to the Premier League, and in that summer he really works on decision making and just securing the ball for his first touch, which he doesn't do at all. That is my biggest criticism of Jorginho. Secure the ball. Secure it before you do anything. Once he secures it, then he goes around them. He tries to go around them too quick, too early. His first touch is almost like to take two guys out of it. Don't need to do that. Because his movement, it happens at times, there is sometimes you do that, obviously, but not all the time. Secure the ball first, and then beat them, because you'll beat them anyway. But if you try it first time or you take a touch, you'll beat them. It's all about efficiency for Jorginho. I love the fact that in his mind he's a confident player now. Even when it's not coming off, 29% dribble success rate isn't good. Even when it's not coming off, he's still doing it. And he's still impacting the team by being this presence. Got 2 assists yesterday. 2. That's all that matters when it comes down to it. At this moment in this season of this young player developing to what he can become. Look at his numbers. This is from Scout data here. Last 9 games. Look at the state of those assists, by the way. He's still getting the numbers without the efficiency. People. This season is perfect for him to develop that efficiency. Maybe 10, 15 more percent. Because then you were developing in the season. Airing yourself for the Prem. If you were straight in the Prem, maybe you struggle. But this season is key to understanding and working hard. And he's got to work hard behind the scenes. He's got to watch video footage. He's got to understand what he needs to do. Sure he is. Look at them assists and goals. Goals too, obviously. Look at them assists. Last 9 games. That's a player you need, and that's a player that's in form, and that's a player that's doing what the team requires. That's efficient. You're probably adding 4 goals on there, and maybe 6 more assists. But the assists, again, probably not his fault, you know. The strikers have got to finish. I want to show you one more thing on Jorginho. Looking at goals and assists in the Championship this season, combined, there he is sitting in 5th this season. And what's key for me, again, this is to do with experience. Move my head up here. The age. Look at our 2 players that are up there. 22 and 21 goals between the goals and assists combined between them. 4th and 5th in the league. Southampton have 1 player up there. Adam Armstrong. Plymouth have 1 player up there. Blackburn have 1 player up there. Sunderland have 1 player up there. Norwich have 1 player up there. Look at the ages of our 2. They're the youngest 2. These are doing this at 20 and 21. 21 and 22. We'll move on to the expected. Look who's top. Expected goals and assists this season. Look who's top. Efficiency. Youth. Experience. Jorginho Rutter in 5th again. And James. Again, look at the ages. Jorginho Rutter is 21. He's performing better or at the same level or at a similar level to these guys who are 6, 5 years older than him. Expected goals. Should have 12, has got 6. This is the improvement. This is the key right here. The efficiency. Again, look at the age. Cree's there as well. 22 and 21. Joe Perreault's up there too. They're younger than all the others. But the team is performing like this. They're also young. So much room for development. And let's look at the key stat. The one that matters. Assists. 15. Again, look at the age. Go down and look at the ages. Where he's there in 8th. Young player. So much room for development. Again, Fatu's younger than him, but he's got almost half the assists. Good player, by the way. Good player. But you see my point. So much room for growth, people. It's fine. And one thing I did just want to quickly look at, because this is interesting. His fouls suffered. I rest my case. And that should be more, by the way, if the refs give half of them. 91. And just finally, I want to give a shout out to Dan James. Coming on again and impacting the game. He does. Big goal, big moment. By the way, that goal was looking aged, didn't it? Jesus. But yeah. Shout out to Dan James. Doing his thing. Doing his thing again. That's it, people. Let me know what you guys think. On to the next one. Nice little break, then on to the next one. Little international break. Get that energy back, recuperate, recover. Can't wait. Top of the league. What's next? More wins, please, Leeds.